Hey, 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 what's up?
What's up?
We are
Wednesdays, another
West Coast
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes, we are in the
Right.
house. We don't want to take much more of our guest time than we are given. We're super blessed today to
Yes.
have one of the pioneers in sports journalism on with us today. We want to get him on. So we're just going to shoot him on right now. So please welcome Mr. Rob Parker. Rob,
Detroit's
thank you.
finest. Detroit's
Yes.
finest
That's
in
right.
sports. Detroit's finest. What's good?
What's happening? How you guys doing? I appreciate it. I mean, thank you for all the love and the acknowledgement. And I just would love to chop it up with you guys, talk sports. So you got me. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
do it.
So Rob, I have to ask really quick. I really appreciate your business from Nordstrom. Shout out Nordstrom. How did that shirt work I sent you?
Very nice. I'm a Nordstrom shopper.
Okay.
I love the high end stuff. Not outrageous, but high end, and I love it. So thank you
Okay.
for your help. That's how we met. I was shocked
Yes.
that you knew it was me and that you listened to the Odd Couple. I mean, you impressed me with your knowledge, and I was like, okay, we got to make this happen. We'll do it.
Yes, for sure. I am a huge fan. I've been a fan for quite some time. And shout out to Chris too, because he's just as great. But we like you better. How about that? Don't tell him.
I appreciate
it. So we like to start off the show with some hot topics going on sports related, and we'd like to hear your take on them. Mel, what do you have up first?
Well, obviously, right now we've got the NBA playoffs happening. I know you just had a big article that was on Deadspin in regards to kind of the take on the in plays, and NBA Commissioner Stern kind of like, or not Stern, sorry.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. See, I'm still locked in. I love the 90s and 2000s NBA more than anything. So I still get locked in.
Jordan poster in the background. So
yeah. I mean, but with Stern and him basically changing the NBA a little bit and possibly making more changes for 22, 23, the in-play is kind of like your take on what's happening with basketball right now in the NBA.
I don't like it. I really don't.
I agree.
I don't like the play in. We're seeing it because you're putting teams in that really were 9th and 10th seeds, right? And they get in and then they get demolished in the playoffs. Like, really, what is the purpose of that? And then in the playing game, you wind up not having one of the great players in the league, Steph Curry, whose team really finished in the 8th spot and wound up not getting in the playoffs. So Steph Curry and the Warriors, a marquee organization, they got bounced out because Memphis got another opportunity. So I don't know if that's really what you want to do. And God forbid it was LeBron James and the Lakers who got knocked out. I'm for sure you wouldn't be seeing a play-in tournament again.
Oh, absolutely not.
They would have died. And now they're talking about doing this in-season tournament during Thanksgiving and Christmas like they do in soccer. Hello, Adam Silver. Do you know that the United States has rejected soccer? So why are we trying to make the NBA look like a soccer league? I hate it.
I didn't like it either. And to me, Rob, to your point, it made no sense. If the Lakers are the 7th seed, why do they need to vie for the spot they're already in?
Right.
42-30 was their record. They shared that same record with Portland. They shared it with Dallas. They clinched, but the Lakers have to play in? Made no sense to me whatsoever. I see it more as a money thing than anything else.
It is a money thing. It's a money grab because of all the money that was lost because of COVID. They offering up the network some more playoff games. It's trying to make up for lost money, but you don't want to break tradition too much and have your league become a gimmick league, where every year you're changing what we're used to. You're doing different things. They put on sponsorships on the uniform for money. Can you imagine the Yankees having an American Express banner on the pinstripes? I just don't think it would ever happen. I don't think that they want money that bad. Do you know what I mean? And it ruins the uniform. I would never buy a uniform with a sponsorship on it. I just wouldn't.
Yeah. So no throwbacks for you because you see Wish or Swish on some of them, different brands and that. So none of those will work this season, right?
None. Zero.
None. Okay. That's very interesting. But to your point, I agree. I thought it was a useless kind of thing because it's like they're vying for a spot they're already in. Makes no sense. At least if the Lakers go into that spot, if you wanted to really make it competitive for the 8th, let the Golden State Warriors sit on a bye possibly, and let San Antonio and
Memphis
duke it out.
Yeah,
And then
it
play
just
Golden
was.
State, maybe.
It was
I
weird.
don't
The
know.
whole thing. LeBron ripped it. Said the person who came up with it should be fired. I don't agree with LeBron a lot, but I think I agree with LeBron on this one.
Okay. Do you agree with his injury by chance? The eye poke.
LeBron gets the Academy Award. He always does. It's always a lot of extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you watch the replay and realize he didn't even get touched, it's even worse. I mean, sometimes I just wonder, like, does he go home and watch that, or he just shrugs it off and goes, well, as long as I sold it to the officials, that's all I care about. I don't care. NBA America was watching it and knows you're a phony actor. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when he rolled off the baseline in one of the games all the way to the tunnel and got up and walked away, I knew, like, I'm a Laker fan. Don't get me wrong. I never was a LeBron fan until he came to the Lakers. Off court, amazing guy. But on court, I just couldn't stand it. And now I feel like this protective mother that's overly protected, that turns a blind eye to antics, because that's what we got to call it. But the shenanigans are there. And he gets it because he's so influential in this league that they won't say anything.
No, we saw that with
anything.
Didn't we see that with the player from Dallas who got fined $50,000 for breaking protocol, and LeBron was at a party, hugged up with everybody,
Drake and all them,
right? And there was no fine for him,
right?
But Porzingis got hit with a $50,000 fine. I mean, that was double standard. That was as bad as it gets.
Now, do you think Draymond recently tweeted, and he was kind of going after Reggie Miller on TNT about the Nards kick that he had given Steven Adams a while back in one of the playoff tourneys, and AD kind of reciprocated doing it last night, and there was no kind of penalty or suspension on AD's part, and Draymond saying, well, mine was unintentional. AD seemed to be unintentional. Why did I get suspended during a tournament and AD didn't?
Because he has a reputation, and I think, whenever, you're into the roughhousing and you've had a couple of run-ins, they look at you differently. And AD's not in that boat. And I think they're going to give that guy the benefit of the doubt, where Draymond, has a reputation. I think it's more of that than anything.
Because I feel like, though, Draymond defensively is never a finesse defensive man. He's a big guy that's kind of flailing, like, if you will. He's very hard on his limbers and all of that kind of stuff, very loose with it, and seems to be very loosey-goosey and not polished as a defender. So I try to give him credit on the fact that maybe it is unintentional. And he's just one of those flailing defensive men that just really can't control his limbs when he gets out there in that court.
Just been too many of those loose.
Okay.
Loose limbs sink ships. I'm trying to say loose limbs.
Loose limbs sink ships.
I think they take your history into account. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
So with the current playoffs happening right now, we see the Wizards are down 0-2, the Clippers down 0-2, heading into Dallas. They lost 2 at home. Do you foresee any of these guys that are down 0-2 to be any bit successful in the playoffs, like coming back from this?
I don't see Boston. I don't think they're undermanned, and Brooklyn has too much firepower. I'm not so sure on the Clippers yet. I need to see another game. I mean, they've shot Dallas has shot the ball incredibly. I mean, shot the ball almost 60% from the field. That doesn't happen all the time. So everything's going in for them, and they were able to win those 2 games. We'll see when they go to Dallas. Are they still shooting at that clip? And maybe the Clippers can figure out something else defensively, that maybe they need to stop switching and just stick with their man and stop, being caught short or mismatch, and which has allowed Dallas to score easily. So I think that can be fixed, and that series is not done, but Boston is outmanned, and Boston just doesn't have the firepower.
Right. And then Russell goes down with a slight ankle injury tonight against Philly, and Philly, pretty much takes over and wins that game. But a fan threw popcorn on Westbrook as he was walking through the tunnel and got highly enraged. And sometimes these fans just get really, really out of control. And with the adrenaline and the emotions of this series, it was funny how they directed the cameras up to the crowd, and the crowd was pointing to the offender. So hopefully, what can they do, even with these protocols in place, even though we're opening up What do you think the league needs to do with these fans and the things that they do to certain players?
Well, first thing I'm going to say is the only reason that Russell Westbrook was upset is because the popcorn didn't have enough butter on it. But that's you can't throw anything. I mean, you just got to throw those people out. They can't throw popcorn. They can't throw the popcorn bucket. They can't do that stuff. I mean, when you pay a ticket, you have a right to boo and yell as long as you keep it clean and it's not racist, or vulgar like that. Like I'm fine with that. That's a part of the game. But there's a behavioral code that you have to follow if you're going to be allowed in the games. And guys and girls who don't follow that shouldn't be allowed to come in and and buy tickets. And you ban those people for a year or two and tell them you're not going to be allowed in an NBA arena.
I feel like it's a little bit of, it's kind of like Philly though. I know like the Eagles fans are crazy. I'm only assuming the 76ers fans are just as crazy. I feel like that's kind of stereotypical for some of the sports fandom out there.
You're right, because in the old Vet Stadium in Philadelphia, they used to have a jail there to house people who went to the Eagles and to the Phillies games until the police could come pick them up. So definitely, that is Philadelphia, and they booed Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. That's a tough task.
If you guys are just tuning in to Girl Chat Sports with Mo and Mel, we have guest Rob Parker on. Rob, I wanted to switch gears real quick, just a little tidbit on NFL because you are a Detroit guy. And when the announcement came down that Matt Stafford was heading to the West Coast, you tweeted some things about your dislike of Matt Stafford and what his contribution to the Lions has been. And I just want to know what your take is as far as now as he's going to LA. What do you think he can do over there?
I don't dislike Matthew Stafford.
Oh, okay.
An overall number one pick who won no playoff games in a dozen years, who won no division titles, and people say he didn't play with anybody. Calvin Johnson's the first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. And Ndamukong Suh was drafted there. There was a number of good players on that team. And I just never saw Matthew Stafford rise to the occasion and carry a team and win a playoff game or win a big game to win a division. Everybody thinks he's going to be a slam dunk in LA. We'll see. Because to me, Jared Goff got them to a Super Bowl. And Matthew Stafford is going to have to get them there and win one for it to be a good trade. Making the playoffs and losing is not any upgrade. I mean, to me, you already had that with Jared Goff. So Stafford's mission to be accomplished in LA and the Rams is that he has to win a Super Bowl. And I don't think that's unrealistic. I think that's why you make a trade like this, because you think he's the missing piece. So we'll see. Yeah. I'm skeptical because I watched the guy's entire career and I just never saw those moments.
Even when he had Megatron too, I felt like, God, you got this guy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. NFL is going to be good this year, though. I'm excited. I mean, we already heard that there's going to have like 30 of the 32 stadiums are going to have full fans in attendance. One question I wanted to ask you is, being in journalism this long, last year was kind of like the first we've ever seen of this kind in sports history, where everything stopped, where things were canceled, seasons were canceled, tournaments were canceled. What did you learn from that as a sports journalist to be able to still make it through and be able to, conduct business as usual?
Yeah, it was amazing of what I was able to get accomplished and done without leaving the home and doing a national radio show from my home every day and TV appearances and the quality being just as good. I was just saying, why were we going into the studio before trying to figure it out? Because it's unbelievable how good everything was and that we were still able to function and not miss a beat. So it was incredible. I used that time to really organize my life. I've never been more organized, and went through old closets and cleaned out stuff. I really was not going to lay around and watch TV and eat popcorn and gain 20 pounds. I decided to use all that time into putting my life in order and getting everything together. And I feel like that was a once in a lifetime opportunity to have time to do that. We always feel like we don't have time. So I feel moving forward now that we can get out and do stuff. And I wake up every morning and I go, I don't have anything to do. Like there's no.
So Rob, you didn't get a secret talent? You didn't find any hidden talents that you may have had during this lockdown? Some people became DJs. Some people realized they could be makeup artists. Some people realized they were culinary chefs or mixologists in this quarantine. You didn't pick up any other hidden talents possibly?
No, other than you know, I thought I had you know, mastered watching the Golden Girls, but maybe I upped it even more to watch the show. So my love for the Golden Girls just went through the roof. And you know, I went on the Golden Girls cruise.
I know. I want to go on a cruise so badly. And speaking of Golden Girls, I got to shout out my friend Rashad because I have to show you this, Rob and Belle. He got me this onesie jumper for Christmas. And it says "Stay Golden," and it has squad goals on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And and he has the whole DVD box set, and he and I both follow Golden Girls memes on Instagram and Golden Girls clips on Instagram. And we're just, fans of the Golden Girls, and we have a favorite episode, of course. Do you have a favorite, or you just kind of?
I have so many favorite moments, but the show was so well written. All four of them play so well off of them. The delivery of the lines. It is a television classic. And one of my there's two favorite lines. One was Blanche. She's looking out the kitchen window and it's raining outside. And she says to Dorothy, "Oh, the rain reminds me of my first kiss." And Dorothy says, "Oh, how romantic. You had your first kiss in the rain." And Blanche, being the tramp she is, says, "No, in the shower." Who has their first kiss in the shower?
Right. Blanche does.
So
that's who.
Who's your favorite of the Golden Girls?
Dorothy's my favorite.
Okay.
Dorothy, really?
Yeah, Dorothy. I used to love her in Maude when she had her show. But
Shout
the
out
other
to
line
Arthur.
I want to share was, and this is the writing. There's one episode where Sophia has the remote and she's flipping around, and all of a sudden she says, "Hey, look," to everybody else in the room. And this is a throwaway line. There's no setup. There's nothing. She's just flipping the channels, and she says, "Hey, look. There's a black guy anchoring the news, and it isn't even the weekend." I mean, it was like, where did that come from? And I thought, that's writing at its best.
Yes. Shout out to those four ladies because they were great. Yeah. And, I am a huge fan as well. And we were talking about this in the store, but I had to show you this onesie he got me. I haven't put it on yet. I'm sure it fits, but it'll be fitting when I do another Golden Girls marathon.
Nice.
And I also have to give you props too, because you had those Travis Scotts on. Have you acquired any new sneakers or anything? I was trying to go after a few ones, a few of the Paul Rodriguez SB Dunks. I didn't get those. You have a much bigger collection than I do.
We're moving.
Okay. We're seeing something. What are we seeing?
Let's see. I don't know if I can.
You're about to do a mile.
Is this like crib style?
Yeah, it is.
I'm just trying to look at a couple.
The Raging Bull 5s. I like those. Okay.
Let me see. These two I love a lot too. The blue on these and the gray go together so nicely.
Threes. That's those Michigan threes, aren't they? Is that the Michigan ones? What are those?
Well, Michigan have the yellow in it.
Oh, that's right.
Blue and gray. So yeah,
very nice.
I'm I'm into the Jordans. I got my couple of things, my little vices, and my friends know. And so if they see something, or I got a sneaker guy in LA, I'll wind up getting sneakers. So if that's my vice, I'm okay with it,
Yeah, it's a good vice to have, not to mention the inflation of the sneakers once they're in your possession, how popular they are. They really go up in price. And it's just amazing. Who would have thought that the sneaker culture of MJ, long since retired, his sneakers would still be carrying on as a pop culture icon in fashion. So
it's amazing, to be honest. He hasn't played
it is
20 years or whatever it's been, and his sneakers are still more popular than any player playing now. And that's a testament to him. But I love his sneakers. I really do.
Yeah, they're a little uncomfortable for me. I can't stand them in for long periods, and they're a little heavy, but I make them work.
Yeah, I get that.
They're good.
Some of them are. I don't like them all. But
what's your series that you like? The ones, the threes, the fours?
Too thin to me. I never ones.
All right.
But the 4s, the 5s, 11s, those are all the ones.
Yeah, those are decent.
Yes.
Yeah. I just acquired the Fire Red 4s not too long ago. Yeah, I busted them out for the Aces game. We went to the Aces game this past weekend and saw the Connecticut Sun play. We also saw the incident occur with Liz Cambage. and Kurt Miller from the Connecticut Sun. What was your take on that? I know you've probably heard the details of him saying, well, she's 300 pounds and kind of insulting her weight, and her clap back on Instagram about him and then the way she felt and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to say about a woman being 300 pounds. I mean,
right.
You're asking for trouble, and he found it, and rightfully so. I mean, even in jest, I don't think you want to go there, so I don't blame her. I mean, 300 pounds, okay. That's a little extreme.
Well, she's also 6'8". Like, she's a big girl. Like, we know, like, she's beautiful. She posts, her swimsuit pictures and her Fenty outfits all the time on Instagram. So we all see that she's not that big. But I think coming from a man perspective, and especially the head coach, it's one thing if you're talking with your peers on court and exchanging words with the players, but when the head coach steps in and kind of gives you that word, it's a little bit much, I think. So
no doubt. I think that you're right. That should be left to players to chime in on to each other on the court, but not for a coach.
Absolutely.
I think he learned his lesson.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
Well, I know you got a limited time. I just had one more question to ask you because, of course, we all know you from The Odd Couple. You've been in the game for like 35 plus years, but I know that you started the MLBbro.com, and I wanted to just ask quickly kind of what got you into that. I can kind of figure what started you with it, but can you give us a couple of seconds on that?
Yes, I appreciate it. MLBbro.com. It is the first and only baseball website, Major League Baseball website, that only focuses in on the black and brown players in the league. And I just thought there was a need for us to know more about those players. MLB.com does a great job covering the games and the whole sport, but this is just a closer look. And it's basically, I call it baseball coverage with some hot sauce on it. It just has a feel,
flavor.
Flavor from what we're used to. And as you know, anybody who knows me, I've been covering the NBA since 1987. I've been covering the NFL since 1987. But baseball is my number one love. I've been covering baseball since 1986. My first World Series was the Mets and the Red Sox when the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs. I'm a Hall of Fame voter. I love the game, and I love doing the site. And my goal is not only to report on the players and let people know who these great players are, but also to develop the next generation of black baseball writers, male and female. We have a young staff. I'm trying to teach these writers every day on how to cover baseball. And that's kind of, what drives me to make this happen. I would love to see, these guys and girls like leave our site and go start covering teams and doing, work, for papers or TV stations around the country covering baseball. So this is my lifelong dream, and it's come, we've gotten great response so far, and I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled by it.
Rob, I have a follow-up question real quick, and I'll let you go on that. Speaking of that, you're including the black journalists in that. What about as far as black baseball athletes? Because I noticed that we have been since the decline and since the integration of baseball, we've lost some of that luster of having a recruitment, if you will, of black males to play baseball. What do you think the draw needs to be to get kids involved or engrossed into wanting to play baseball or have a future in professional baseball, if they will, instead of always pushing the pipe dream of basketball, which is limited chances, and football?
Well, that's part of it. And the other thing is some kids just don't want to put in the work. And what I'm talking about is, basketball, you go straight to the NBA, you go from high school or college. When you get drafted in baseball, you might have to go to the minor leagues for a few years. You don't make big money right away. Football, you play right away. So there's that part. But we've started to see more and more. Like the numbers have increased a little bit. And we just had at the College World Series 2 years ago, not last year, but the year before, Michigan had 8 black players on the team, which is a tremendous number of black players playing Big Ten baseball. So there has been a resurgence. Those guys are in the minor leagues. They're coming. And we just need to stop these coaches from telling our black kids that they can only play one sport at a time. Like you got to commit everything to football or to basketball. And it's just not true. Kyler Murray was just drafted a couple of years ago, first time ever a guy was drafted first in the first round in baseball and first round in football. So you can play more than one sport and give yourself options. This whole notion that we only have to do one thing at a time is nonsense. It's total nonsense. And these coaches are selfish, and they're taking these kids away from other opportunities, and they need to stop.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to Southern University, my school. They just won the male baseball team just won the SWAC championship back to back in a row. So for the baseball team. So yeah, they're out there. I just need to see it more. And I guess it's like the young kids, and I have nephews and I have nieces. And I always said, you know, if I ever had children, my boys would be more into baseball. I feel like that's just the sport. If you can run, hit, catch, do all those things.
Parents don't want kids to play football as much. You know, enrollment in football is way down because we all know the dangers of it and concussions and all kinds of CTE. I think that you're going to get more athletes going back to baseball.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. And we know we got to let you go. And we really appreciate you tapping in. We really do. We have to do this again when we have some time.
No, we will definitely do it.
And yes, I know you're a foodie because you always post you're in Vegas and you go to the best restaurants and you go to the restaurants that I like to go to too. So definitely when you're back in town, please hit us up and we can all like go eat, or we can show you some of the hidden gems of Vegas where there's some good eating places.
I will absolutely do that, and I'll see you guys soon. And great job. I appreciate the invite. And
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you so much, Rob. We appreciate you. Take care. Rob. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks so much.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Rob Parker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I love that he showed me his sneaker collection because I wanted those Raging Bull 5s as well. He has everything that I want. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat.
Yes.
Cassandra Cousineau, Jose, Goose, Arlington, Natasha Gransberry. Who else is on here? Lexi.
Kelly's foster mom is in there. Yes.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you guys for chiming in.
Thank you to Carlos.
Yes. And Carlos, and those of you guys on YouTube checking us out. We really appreciate it.
Lex was in the house.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We got
Cassandra says her boys are definitely. She said her boys are definitely playing baseball in this house. I hear you on that, sis. Because,
well, and I think part of the reason too with this whole pick a sport is because, I mean, I don't know personally, but I got friends with multiple kids that AAU costs, select team costs, traveling costs, like it's hard to be able to finance your child doing more than one sport, let alone at an accelerated, rate when they're playing, AAU travel teams, a select team travel. It's hard to do more than one sport because it's financially a hardship for some families. So
and to your point, Andrew McCutcheon just put out an interview and wrote an article regarding that on minorities playing baseball and saying it was a financial thing on some of the poorest communities that didn't have the resources and that kind of thing to get introduced into baseball. And sometimes that can be the case as well. So hopefully it changes. Hopefully it switches. Like I said, you got some players out there that want to be hitters. So
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, my mom was in the chat too. Hi,
yes,
Mom.
I saw Doreen. Yes. Yes, Quan 59. Thanks for popping in. Lakers in 5. I got you with that, brother, all day. I feel the same way.
In 5.
I think we got activated because
after a loss, it's going to be
it's always been a loss. Then... If you know our Lakers, the bubble, we lost the first game in a round. We lost the first game in another round. We always lose the first game. This is anything new. And then we get activated. We're going back to LA. And you just never know. I definitely see us doing 5, especially if Chris Paul, sad to say, and I'm not trying to use that as an excuse because I want him in the game. I think we still beat him with him in the game. But with his shoulder contusion, it's just not looking good for him. And I hope he can return to the court because I want to see that action.
Quan's in the chat because he's got a mangoes. Well, hey, Quan, we know you got a great studio there, and we need some new headshots done. Maybe we can exchange mangoes for a headshot.
And we need to be in front of our Girl Chat graffiti thing. That's ours, right away, yeah?
I mean, I like when the other people post in front of it, but it does say Girl Chat.
That's copyright infringement too, Mel. I'm about to send out cease and desist letters when I see these photos.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yes. So I didn't want to bring it on, of course, when Rob was on, but I don't know if anyone saw this during the Suns-Lakers game last night, but I dang near flipped out. So the PA guy, whoever does the national anthem, whatever buttons he was pushing, must not have had Quan behind there to do it as the audio, as like the producer, because here's what happened.
Please rise for our national anthem.
Open up the safe, bitches got a lot to say.
You gotta love TikTok for getting that on deck. Whoever did that. I mean, they pop off with some like booty bounce music, and then we go into
like, how do you configure?
It was like they turned up.
They should have put those two buttons. They should have put those two buttons farthest away as possible, because with the big red sign, national anthem here, and then warm-ups here. Like,
maybe he thought the shoot around was, somebody slept at the wheel. Maybe he thought the shoot around was still going on. He was about to play another track, and then it just enters. I don't know.
Man, listen,
crazy. I think it's the craziest thing ever.
I'm still giggling over that. Like, if I was there, I would have died laughing. Like, I've been laughing over that for at least half the day now, because I've had 3 people send it to me, and I can't stop laughing at it. But anyways, in some other news, hey, big shout out to Phil Mickelson.
50 and fabulous. 50 and fabulous.
It goes out there to show you, like, don't sleep on the 50-year-olds. They're out there still getting championships.
Hey, so I'll be 50 in 4 years. You better not sleep on me. We're gonna be fabulous.
Get that championship, girl? Get that championship.
Yes, like just fabulous in your own fabulosity at 50. That is not an old age. And Phil Mickelson proved that, didn't he?
Right,
so
he
give
did.
it up to him.
So, of course, they've got the usual PGA, the match coming up July 6th, which is going to be Brady and Mickelson versus Rogers and DeChambeau. So I hadn't realized, but I saw there was a huge tweet back and forth in regards to Brady throwing shade at Rogers, because, of course, he's got Mickelson on his team. Mm-hmm. It was pretty entertaining, to say the least. So that's going to be I'm not a big golfer, but I'm down to watch whenever the athletes come on. And then some of the NBA and NFL athletes come on to play. So
that's the new match. It's the match, because last time it was with Tiger Woods, so this time we've got a different match going on. Okay.
Yes.
Should be good.
And I know that so the Knicks won, so I know Natalie's super happy, and they finally put the Trey stuff. They had to, but Trey was getting him that first half. He was shooting like Dame Dollar half court 3-point shots. So he was putting on for a while.
Ranked number 14 in the league, averages 25.5 points a game. The man should have been an all-star. I still say that to this day. And we have to say big ups to Julius Randle right now, too, for most improved player. And his little son presented him with the trophy in front of the team. Was so cute. But Trey Young is a beast. I don't know why he didn't make the all-star cut. I just am so tight about that. Like, that was an all-star, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. The greatness. Right. And not to mention, Clint Capella is a big factor. They got a lot of bigs on that team. Gallinari. I mean, they are loaded with the defensive mechanisms. They kind of almost mirror a Lakers type of offense with those bigs in there. But, not as solid, of course, because there's no AD or LeBron. But Trey Young still is a beast in his own right. Like I said, it's good. So we got Memphis and Utah going on right now. Memphis is up by 3, and Utah is going to see what they can do.
If Memphis takes another one in Utah, I'm going to be shocked.
Ja Morant. That's all I can say.
Here's what's funny is that I got family in Idaho and Montana and whatever, Utah, that they're all Jazz fans. So my mom's family, all Jazz fans. And some of them went to the first game, and she was like, oh, man, I can't believe they lost. I'm like, I haven't never liked the Jazz. So it made me a little.
I was about to say, first of all, my condolences to your family for being Jazz fans.
Hello,
sorry
really?
about that. Sorry to hear that. My condolences.
I know.
Secondly, I definitely.
And so other ones are at the game today. So it's interesting that, I don't know.
All right.
I wouldn't go to a Jazz game, but actually I have gone to a Jazz game with that family, with those family members before, but I can't remember who they were playing. Anyways, I guess it's something to do when you're in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot.
I mean, there's nothing else they got going on. I mean, you got, you do have the festival, the movie festival, but that's the only one. Sundance. That's pretty much it.
Right. Natalie just said that Brittany Griner went down with the boob shot.
Oh.
Which is weird because
really?
I don't know if I don't think she has them anymore.
I don't remember her ever
Interesting.
getting it removed.
Maybe
I
she
just don't think
gave a
she
boot
never
shot to
had them.
somebody. Maybe she hit somebody. I don't know. She
I
doesn't.
never
Yeah.
thought her to. I'm not going to touch that.
Well, she had them removed.
She did. I don't
Yeah,
remember her
she
having
did.
them removed.
Yeah.
I thought it was another
Yeah.
player.
No.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Brittany did. Yeah. So I'm
Oh, well,
interesting
that
about
tissue
that.
still kind of hurts. I mean, I guess a guy
Oh,
could.
I'm
His
sure it's still got to be
pectorals are considered
sensitive. But
yeah.
But I am interested to see how this game goes because as you know, I was at the game on Friday for the opener with the Sparks, which is an amazing game. They won. We both were there on Sunday for the Connecticut game. Obviously, there was the Liz Cambage and the head coach Kurt Miller issue that we've already discussed. But the girls just weren't in the game. Like Asia had a slow first half. Liz had a couple good spots. Derica was off. I mean, the girls weren't there necessarily physically.
They didn't look in tip-top shape either. Like, not saying physically, just the sense of urgency in the game was lacking. It just seemed like they were just very sluggish, and it seemed like the intensity wasn't there, except for Courtney Gray. She had a bulldog face on her. She was ready to do some work, and she did do work on a couple plays in some of the quarters, but it just wasn't enough.
Destiny Slocum
too was ready
as a rookie. She's she's grimy, she's gritty, she's going for balls.
They shouldn't have lost to the Sun. Simple as that. They had no reason to lose the Sun.
They had chances.
You had many opportunities. You actually tied at the half. You were actually in the lead going into the third quarter. You just lost it, and I just feel like emotions ran high with Liz. And it just kind of that transference of energy, but none of them came out there to me really fired up and ready. Seemed like a very slow paced game, very slow moving action. Connecticut Sun were making great plays. They were shooting off the dribble. I didn't see any of that from the Aces. I didn't see any of it. So I just, we got to do better. You can't go to a finals last season and then come to this. You just can't, So
but I wanted us to talk a little bit too about what our thoughts were on the process now, because now that we've been in a COVID sports arena, I found it a little interesting that someone had put up in the WNBA group is that we all saw, I think it was Sabrina and Ionescu who was hugging one of the guys on the Knicks, and of course she's in an arena with full attendance, hugging a guy that's not masked, but then the WNBA is still limiting seats to not only season ticket holders, maybe just in general. And it seemed unfair that these guys get to go out there and play with a full arena. The women are stuck with, people can't go buy tickets for the WNBA games, at least here in Las Vegas. You have to be a season ticket holder or it has to go probably through a third party site.
But I'm wondering if that's going to change, though, when we open up June 15th. A lot of the arenas and stuff are going full capacity, like baseball and stuff. That could change. We're supposed to be 100% by June. You never know. That's just what it is tentatively.
I'm hoping so, because I know there's a lot of people that have hit me up in regards like, how do we get tickets? Like, what's the process? I'm like, listen, shout out to Natalie, her and Donna, they got season tickets. So we've been able to
and thank you, Natalie,
over there
for being your plus one.
Yes, thanks to Jiggy with the Las Vegas Aces for getting, us in there for media as needed, which is great.
What I did alternate on.
Yes.
Which we have to alternate.
Just because, we're not going to every single game. Like everybody still has life. We still got to do things on the side. So it's great that we're able to alternate. What I did enjoy is that I'm going to miss COVID sports for one reason and one reason only. The room and space you get when you're sitting in your chair, you can put your feet up. You got no one in front of you. You got maybe one person on one side of you, which is who you came with, and that's it. Like you've got ample room to just enjoy the game, and you're not having the drunk people yelling and throwing stuff, fights occurring. Like the Vegas Golden Knights had a fight the other night in the stands. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to miss about COVID sports. But just so you know, right now at Mandalay Bay, the parking is free. Last year was like $20, I think, for family or people when they went to the game. So that's good thing to think about. They also have, you're still allowed to have a bag. Like the Golden Knights, you can't bring any bag in. You can bring like something that holds your cell phone and that's it. For the Mariners game I went to, they were like 4 by 6 inch little clutches you could bring. But for the Aces, as long as it was like, 12 by 12 by 6, you can walk in with that, which for me means bring snacks, which I do.
Same as the Aviators. I went to the Aviators game Saturday evening, and it was the same deal. Your bag can't be too overly sized. Mask when you walk in. As soon as you sit down in the stands, no mask. You can take it off. but they weren't having the mandate of the clear plastic bags. I know Raider Stadium is definitely going to be doing that. Shout out to all those season ticket holders now, because not only do they get a tour, they get to actually now sit into their PSL seats. My brother is there tonight with his. Shout out to the birthday boy Vance Horn. He's out there too with him. And he was like, no, I get to actually sit in my seats and see my seats. And I'm like, okay, you have fun with that.
Oh, they went back out on another tour. Okay.
So it's not even a tour anymore. This is that you actually get to sit in your licensed seat that you have for eternity until the franchise decides to up and leave if they leave. So these are his actual bought seats. So this is the thing they're doing on the second half of that. And my parents get to go on Friday to it. Where's Mo? Is she going to go? Does Mo get to go? No, Mo doesn't get to go.
Mo got her season ticket, right?
Mo doesn't get to go to these experiences. But I am excited for them to be able to experience that. And I will be getting into Raider Stadiums too.
Well, we need the Threets family to all document their experience and share their pictures with us, that we're able to see just how wonderful that is. I did mention, JC did mention that the Aces tickets will go on sale for the public.
I knew it.
So that's good. Yeah.
And then the Aviators are opening up their stadium on the 15th. So their tickets will be going single game tickets. Because again, I had to get those second party because they were not allowing public tickets to be sold. They were all season ticket holders. So they're opening up. And then hopefully our
the Las Vegas park is still has the pool, and you can still buy tickets to be seated at the pool. I was there with the person that we're hopefully going to have on here in a couple of weeks as a guest, so we'll discuss that later. But the ballpark looks beautiful. The pool is open.
What did they say the price of the pool was?
It's $50 a person, or if you can rent it out the whole time, I think it's $2,000 for up to 40 people, which becomes like $50 a person. Okay. So I may have to look into that. Yeah. Maybe we'll have a Girlchatsports pool party.
Yeah, that would be cool. Let me get my summer body right. I told you I was looking like all little Miss Sunshine right now in a swimsuit with my little pop going on.
We're on that Will Smith COVID thing, right? I mean, everybody just, had a little
I got to get post-COVID ready for sure. I got to get post-COVID
And Cassandra, true, the parking was off the chain on Friday. It was not that bad on Sunday.
Because there was like,
people were leaving. They had a tournament there. I don't know if it was volleyball, basketball. They had some kind of tournament there. It was also a Friday night in Vegas. But Sunday, people were leaving. It definitely did not take as long to park. But be aware, if you are going to a Friday night game for the Aces, give yourself a little extra time to park, because Mandalay Bay is a hot spot when it comes to, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And so
you got to figure out an exit strategy to go to that one. Yeah, and Sunday, not to mention, you had like tons of playoff NBA games. So I knew Sunday was going to be a light day. Plus, people are off of work and they do the outdoor activities. And then with it being only the season ticket holders, it's a small option on that. Yeah.
Right.
And what was the capacity? I wanted to ask you real quick. Compared to season ticket holders on Sunday to Friday, was it less people on Sunday in your opinion?
I feel like there was a few less, only because I think opening day was almost up to capacity of the 2,000. I noticed there was a lot more seats that were empty from my standpoint, looking down at everybody. Yeah. So I think there was a little less people, and I wish that if you're not going to use your season tickets, and please pass them on to people that will, because there were so many seats I think that were still open. Right. That maybe people were holding on to them or trying to do too much. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Good point. I know you were talking about the Las Vegas Lights, because I know their first home game is going to be on June 5th.
Good, because they're 0-3 and we need them to do something.
0-3, I know. And they play again on Saturday. But they have like $10 tickets, $5 tickets for kids. So like if you can't make a ticket or get a ticket elsewhere, go see the Lights. Hopefully, because they haven't played the home yet. So hopefully they have home and hopefully give them a win. I don't know.
They'll get a win. They'll get a win. They'll get a win when they come home. I mean, I think they need to just see us. I think that's what it is. This 0-3 and they're starting off on the road for a season makes no sense, but I get it because they're LAFC now.
Right, and basically being based in a different state and city. It's just, I don't know.
So
Mel's birthday is June 30th, Eric. Thank you very much. So feel free to contribute to the
Put the cash up, Mel. Put the cash up, Mel. Yeah. For you.
Feel free to contribute to the Girlchatsports pool party. Yes, we may have to look into that. Here we go. We got Monisha's too. Just throwing it out there. Because we're our own sponsors today,
Yes, we were. Yeah, we were.
What I will talk about a little bit is, so your Dodgers, right? Your Dodgers are in Houston,
Oh, my
which I know.
Dodgers are so awesome.
Can we just, let me just.
Yeah, we know that. You're in the Astros territory. Of course, we're going to announce that you guys cheated. And we
had
owned
a whole
you guys
Dodgers
that whole
second
time.
going for it.
Yeah, and we owned you guys that night. Kershaw, not only did he pitch an epic series since 2017 was his last meetup with the Astros, he pitched 8 innings. Flawless victory. I think we beat him 9-2. Yeah, we owned that. We did that. Not to mention, and Steven Sr., if you're watching, yeah, how'd that work out for you on your San Francisco trip? I know we talked about it. You went to the 3-game series against the Giants and Dodgers in San Francisco, and it didn't really work out in your favor because now my Dodgers are on an 8-win run, second in the NL West, third in the league. Like we're doing big things. We're coming back. Okay, we are back, baby. Yeah, despite all the injuries too.
Well, and shout out to my Mariners who have been doing terrible, but did just finally break their 6-game losing streak, beating the A's 2-1 in the series, which is great for us because we need that in our division. Although we're still down like four
and you guys are below 500 too, so we got to get y'all right.
We still are,
too.
but coming back, getting 2 out of 3 was good for us. We got the Rangers coming up. Mom gets her bobblehead tomorrow. Shout out to one of my boys back home who's gonna helping get that bobblehead for Mom. So
that's great. That's great.
She loves her Mariners bobblehead.
Yeah, he was in the zone. He was totally in the zone, cousin. Shout out to my cousin Derek Williams, Detroit native. You missed Rob Parker. Detroit legendary.
You need to rewind and watch the replay.
Come back and see us with Rob. Yeah, Detroit's finest all day. But yeah, I'm loving this baseball season. I'm loving that they announced in June that the parks are going back to the public. Guess what? There's so many games in baseball. I'm not even worried about social distancing on those because not every game is going to be at capacity unless it's a giveaway night or some kind of game. Because I know the Bears game I intend to go to is Cody Bellinger night with the belly bobblehead. So hopefully I can acquire that one if I go down there in June. But to see this, it's actually a good thing. But I'm gonna tell you something. When I was at the Aviators game, I kept my mask on in those stands. Yeah. I still wasn't playing.
They look busy there.
Yeah, it was busy. It was actually a good enough people. They just couldn't close with Salt Lake City Bees.
And Aviators were going full capacity when they returned from their away games. I think it's like June 10th or something like that.
Yeah,
so that's going to be bananas.
Like
Plus, it's going to be super hot. You got a packed stadium. Woo!
Compared to my night where it was freezing cold, I wore a beanie and had to have a thick coat on, which it worked out perfectly.
Last Saturday. It was freezing.
Last week it was so cold, but it was a nice night game, very calming, very relaxing. Great energy from the crowd despite our loss. It still kept us engaged in the game because, like I said, Salt Lake just has some hitters over there. They're no joke. They were nice.
Well, and we had like 60 degrees last Saturday. There's going to be like almost 100 coming this weekend. You know, Vegas weather this spring has been pretty intense.
Yeah, I'll take it though. I don't want that 114. I'm just not looking forward to it. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's like Game of Thrones.
VGK update. So Vegas Golden Knights, they had won. They were up 3-1, ready to tie it and close the series out on Monday. Could not do it at home.
Right.
Back in Minnesota today. They're at the end of 2 periods, 0-0.
Wow.
So we just
Fingers
need one
crossed,
goal.
But I think you have just let them back into this game.
And you can't do that with Minnesota. They're a great team.
No, you cannot. You cannot. And who was it that hit the goal on the opposing team? Because that really sealed the deal. And that was accidental and the goal fell and everything. But still, it's just like it was just not a great game for them. Not a great couple power plays. Could have went in our favor where we were able to score on the first power play, but the second one, it just was not working out. So hopefully our Knights can pull it off. We need to get out of this first round.
Right. So we can get out of that because the previous couple Stanley Cup playoff champions, the Capitals and the Blues, they both got eliminated on Sunday. They both are out the tournament. Oilers got knocked out on Monday. So really, we need to get this ball rolling. We need to make this win. I'm looking at the Aces are at halftime, 45-44. I'm interested to see how that goes.
Tonight. We got games tonight, that's for sure.
Sports is crazy right now. You know, basketball games, you got 3 games a day, it seems like. You've got WNBA, 2 games a day. It's just like it's a busy
sports
time
overload
right now.
that we needed because we didn't have it during the pandemic as much because everything kind of
Yeah, this
didn't
time
overlap
last
as
year,
much. It wasn't.
this time
It
last
wasn't
year, there
anything
was
happening.
nothing.
Just getting started with a bubble type situation, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We were getting to roll into that.
I know you had given me some pictures. But WNBA real quick because I just want to shout out because after the whole Liz and the head coach of the Sun issue went down, the Seattle Storm played the Sun last night and they beat the Sun, giving them the first loss. But they also made their own shirts because it was also the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd. They made them call your senators in regards to the George Floyd justice
for the
bill that's in Congress. Yeah. So, you know, Seattle's just one of those cities too. But I just really appreciate them being able to do that. And that was really great. You know, these ladies
I appreciate it for sure.
Using their platform, you know?
Yeah.
But your guys' fashion, let's get into your guys' 6th man of the year.
Yes, Mr. Jordan Clarkson, former Laker as well. I noticed the commonality of all of these outfits here right now is that he's carrying a Goyard bag.
I like that.
Goyard is one of those infamous Parisian bags. They only sold it at once upon a time at Barney's when it was here, and those bags retail for quite a bit. I
like that outfit on the left with the all-seeing eye. That's pretty cool.
I do like that. It looks kind of boho-ish to me, but I do like it. It looks very hot. The Versace is nice. It's a little overkill. I'm not big into showing off labels, but I know we're in this culture now of fashion where labels is everything. I do like the Jordan ones that he has with them and the Goyard bag. Again, another common, seems like staple accessory he likes to add on. And I like the varsity style right here and the khakis, bringing me back to the old high school days. And the varsity jackets are very trendy. I don't like
it buttoned up though, like buttoned or zipped up.
I didn't mind it buttoned up. I didn't mind it buttoned up because the thing of it is if he had a shirt that was too much for the jacket, then it hides the whole, it doesn't put the whole look together. So you're going to make it about the jacket with its patches, pop of color with the shoes, a nice accessory bag, the khaki pants, or you probably have some crazy shirt with design printed on it. And you shouldn't have that. Maybe a plain white tee. If you had opened a plain white tee with it, possibly, or maybe a color tee. But I don't mind that jacket button up. That's kind of the style. That's why I'm the stylist.
That's why you are. Because I also don't do rolled up khakis like you're waiting for a flood to come through. Like I don't.
Right. But you wear mids though, so.
I love mids. I'm not waiting for a flood though.
Doesn't dictate the mids.
But why does it matter? It's only about this much difference. There's short people that wear mids. There's taller people than me that wear mids.
If they're tall, if they're short with high tops,
it's like a half-inch difference on a mid to a high.
It cuts their legs off. It cuts their legs off. If you're tall, why are you wearing mids? You can wear high tops and be okay.
Because I got a long torso, so I don't have the longest legs. So therefore, it just helps my legs out.
You look long leg to me, and all the guys will agree you look long leg in the green dress, especially. So I don't.
When I post the picture soon, you'll see that my legs are not that long compared to somebody else.
I gotta see in some mids I gotta see in some mids to see how this really works because I don't get it. I just.
Oh, good point, Natalie. We're going to talk about this. Not to change the subject, but to change the subject. The Chicago Sky coach had sent you this earlier about filing the complaint against the referee, who said the referee had basically told the player, "Hey, go get your boy." And we both discussed this. We need context. Like I didn't watch the game. I didn't see what happened. We don't know how it was said, who said it, what race the ref was.
Or go get your girl. You know,
I mean, go get your girl, go get your boy.
I'm assuming the person was not a person of color or
I'm assuming
descent. I'm assuming that. I mean, you would assume unless why would you make an allegation against your own brethren saying that? Like that doesn't make any sense. So therefore, again, context is everything. And it's not like he said, "Hey, boy." You know, that kind of boy emphasis, you know, that has a history of a terminology. We don't know. But I think, you know, if he feels that way, let him feel that way. Whatever. I mean, we're in a sensitive time. Yesterday was the anniversary.
Right. Go ahead.
Yesterday was the anniversary of George Floyd. A lot of emotions were high. You know, you have to check on your Black friends or their mental space to see how everybody's feeling. Check on everybody to see how their mental space. They all saw the video. It can be traumatizing. So, you know, you don't know what type of mindset he was in, and he could have taken that context totally out of proportion. Not saying that he did, not saying that he didn't, but that could have been the case. But you know, I just feel it's kind of a stretch, Nat, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand. I trust me. You know, I understand. I understand when things happen to us or happen to me or people of color or yourself or anyone of another ethnicity that is targeted because of their ethnicity. I know how that is. But sometimes we keep looking for it to catch it when we should not. And if we're triggered because of the emotions of something that happened a year ago, which is rightfully so, that could have been the thing that kind of played with his mind a little bit. We'll see where it goes. I mean, he filed a complaint, see if it carries on and there's an investigation, and see what the outcome is. If there's no investigation or it proves that it was just a wrong theory, then hey, that's what it is. But we're getting into a time now where we have to find a fine line on what is really, really offensive and what is not offensive. It's so gray right now because everything is offending to everybody. So I just don't know what you can say these days that won't get you in trouble to a certain things. How about just not say anything at all? How about not banter with the refs?
Just go
How about
with it,
just go let it go.
I mean, and I definitely understand the two, yesterday being the day, maybe that triggered some extra feelings on his part. But I really do hope this isn't like a thing to come where we'll be coming into this whole nitpicky on situations that are happening mid-game, because let's just keep going. Players, let's get on the court. I mean,
brass tacks he was about fouls. He was mad about fouls.
Yeah. And the fouls that were called was 22 to the Sky, to the 21. Like it was one foul difference. What are you complaining about? It was
where's the bias? I don't understand what's going on. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. That was weird.
Stuff gets weird. Sometimes. And Diana Taurasi injured. She's going to be out 4 weeks. So it's interesting right now to see with the Mercury's. We know what's happening with the Mercury, if they're going to be able to pull it off, because that's a key piece for their team. Even though Skylar Diggins has been doing great with them, it's a big piece to be missing.
That one hurts. 4 weeks. That's about a month and some change. So.
Yep, and the Sparks lost their rookie today for the season as well too. I know that.
Gosh. What is going on with these early injuries at the start of the season? This happened with the NBA too. Like, I don't understand what's going on with the physicality.
And then you've also got the Olympics too, and the Olympics are coming. And Kelsey was wasn't at the game on Sunday because she was on the USA's 3-on-3, which I believe they won. And it's. I don't know.
Bump the Olympics. I don't care about the Olympics. The Olympics is not making any social awareness of what's going on in this world, in this country.
Right, you know what
bump the Olympics,
me?
and they don't want us to be having our representation of what's going on in the world. So no, bump the Olympics. I don't really care.
Well, and that's what surprises me, that Liz had a whole thing with Australia, right? And now she just got named to their team for the Tokyo Olympics.
Well, that's good if they want to play, but I know what I'm not going to do. I'm not watching. How about that? I mean, you got to do what you got to do for your brand and everything else if that's what you want to do. But to make those type of rules and to try to ostigate, you got people from all over the world with all kinds of different things and social injustices going on. And we cannot use that as a platform because you're calling it political. No, it's human rights. So go on with the Tokyo Games.
It's a big issue.
Miss me with that. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm over it. But in the better news, though, Women K is going to be on the next episode of The Shop. So HBO's The Shop, LeBron James' The Shop is coming back. So I'm really excited about that. She's definitely in there to talk the women's representation and how it matters, especially in sports. So,
and it's good for LeBron to even have her on to give her such a platform to do so. So big ups to that. Yeah.
I mean, she deserves it. She's great.
Yeah,
their families, all the girls are great. I mean, it is
absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Before we leave, I know we've got some games going on, stuff going on, but we want to make a special girl power to Miss Simone Biles. Listen, this woman just hit something that's never been done by women before, ever. Like, it's called the Yurchenko double pike. She hit it on Saturday night. It was the first time that she's competed in 18 months. And it's the first time that any woman has done it in a competition successfully, or even attempted, I believe. It's only been done by men.
Do a crazy quadruple flip on her vacation off of a cliff somewhere with her boyfriend filming. This woman is a beast. I am not surprised that she landed this move when she can free fall off of a cliff doing like a triple axel.
Well, yeah, she's a gymnast.
That's just it's just unbelievable. But a rocky cliff, like I wouldn't even fathom it. I wouldn't even do a forward dive off of a cliff, like let alone. And I know how to dive. Like this woman is amazing.
I ain't diving off no cliffs. I'll jump.
Amazing, amazing.
She is, and what kills me is that people like news media are still asking her, like, you know, she was asked, well, why do you keep performing such just difficult moves? And she was like, well, because I can. Duh.
And who doesn't want to challenge themselves to try and do those difficult moves if they know they can?
She is the epitome of girl power, black girl magic. Like, this woman is out here not only doing that, but she also left
Black
Nike.
Girl Magic. Not Black Girl Magic.
Left Nike.
You're giving us our props. Are you giving us flowers on the Black Girl Magic? I appreciate it.
Flowers.
I love it. Thank you. No, I'm not being sarcastic by that. I'm being funny that you said that. I've never heard you say that reference, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I've said it during text, maybe not visually or on camera, but here it goes.
Oh, gotcha.
But she also left Nike and moved to the Athleta brand, which is
Athletica.
Sure, whatever. I don't think it was Athletica. I think it was Athleta or something. Anyways,
is it Athletica?
Woman-friendly brand, which apparently I don't know much about, but she's, you know, she believes in them as being more friendly for women and women's rights, and, you know, kind of some things that maybe Nike is accused of not being in regards to women and their take on things. So, anywho, I think that's
awesome. You know, we always, you know, women, especially the sisters, we always come through with some magic powers, and so this was just proving that. And like I said, I saw her do a triple axel off a cliff free fall, and that cliff was super high, and she did that. So it's no telling what this woman can and cannot do.
Yeah,
and that's the spirit of us. I love it.
We appreciate everybody that checked in today. If you trying to get to the Rob Parker interview, he was on for the first 20 minutes. So feel free to rewatch this, or go to our YouTube and rewatch it, or go anywhere. It'll be all posted on all our social media in about an hour or so.
And be sure to share too, you guys. Sharing is caring. Subscribe. Yes. We need subscribers. So we're probably going to get off of Facebook. No, I'm lying. But we're going to say you can only see this on YouTube. And you tell your friends so they can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also shopping for sponsors too. Anybody that wants a plug, wants a shout out, wants a banner ticker, wants their Cash App up, any of those things, we are looking for sponsorship. So please email us at Girlchatsports at gmail.com, or DM us on our IG at Girlchatsports, all one word, or even direct messages on Twitter, the same handle. So we are looking for that. Legitimate businesses. I don't want you promoting anything that's not legitimate. Okay.
Not all things that are legal in Vegas we can promote.
Yeah, legitimate businesses. You've got a business, you got a plan, you want to market it. We are your mouthpieces, we are your vocal boards. Please let us know.
And it stays in circulation forever.
Yes.
And again, just a real big thanks to Rob Parker again for joining. Thank you, Mo, for making that contact, because that was great. We do have some great guests on the way. We have another one next week. We've got even another one the week after. This is going to be some hot times for us.
The months coming into the summer. It's hot girl summer. We're going to be bringing the heat. We're going to be bringing those fuego topics. We're going to be talking about it. We appreciate all of you guys tapping in, joining the chat. And what can I say? This has been a great time. And to Mel, I appreciate you for setting it all up as far as getting us ready for the show tonight.
We're good.
And our correspondence with Rob, we just kind of stayed on him, so it worked out. So now we got a friend.
Stick to it. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. That's the best advice you can give, is stick to your guns. But he promised and he delivered, so we really appreciate that.
We love people that
you guys be sure to check him out. And be sure to follow him also on Instagram at Rob Parker FS1 on IG, as well as at The Odd Couple and Twitter.
Yeah.
And
that's it for us. We're going to catch you guys next Wednesday. Same time, same channel.
Same Wednesday.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Peace out.